What did you think you were really good at until you saw someone who was actually really good at it? Table tennis. We had a table at work, and so I started playing any time I could, with whoever I could. I'd played a little when I was a kid, so picked it back up quickly and started getting half decent. Eventually, I started playing with one coworker fairly regularly. He was good, no doubt. At first he was clearly just volleying with me, not actually putting it away when he'd get the chance. This made it more fun for me to be sure, and offered me great practice. Anyway, after about a year, I'd gotten to the point where I could cream everybody I'd play with ease, except him. And our games had elevated drastically, to the point of all-out smashing the ball back and forth standing 10 feet away from the table. And I actually started winning some games every now and then. I was ecstatic. Well, one day, after losing a pretty heated game to me, and me being just a little bit pompous about it, my table tennis buddy, coworker pulls a total Inigo Montoya on me, flips the paddle from his left hand, which he 100% consistently used when playing against me, into his right and says to me, "You know I'm right-handed, right?" I did not. Nor did I ever win another game against him. At one point I thought I was pretty savvy in Excel since I was the best at it out of the people I knew. Well, then I meet someone who really knew how to use Excel and realized that I really only knew the basics. I began piano lessons at an early age, 5, and my parents and my teacher made me believe I was some kind of fabulous child prodigy. I later found out I was merely a worm compared to real pianists. But I did enjoy playing the piano, so there's that. 8-ball and 9-ball. I had a table at home and would practice while watching TV. No one could beat me. In college I'd play a $1 a ball, everyone owed me money. Then I played someone that regularly entered tournaments. I was lucky if I got to shoot because he was running the table every game. Driving. Everyone thinks they're a good driver. Sit along with a professional driver as they go through a course, and then try to do the same. So humbling. Skiing. Thought I was the quickest of the quick, craving perfect parallel lines, living my life on the edge. Nope, ski team whizzed by me when I thought I was going fast. Turns out, I'm just a buffoon on 2 planks snowplowing around ungracefully. Ping pong. I made the mistake of playing an old guy that hangs out at one of the bars and he fluffing wrecked me. It wasn't even close, he returned all of my best serves effortlessly and would put the craziest spin on all of his shots. He gave me good advice afterwards and told me I play too fast for my own good. I bought him a drink and shamefully went back to my friends. I thought I was pretty good at Tetris. People who saw me play were quite impressed. Then I started playing Tetris 99. Turns out I'm not that good. I've come to the realization that I'm very mediocre at a lot of things. I can do most anything, just not well. Playing guitar. I'm good enough to impress normal people, but I could never reach the level of a professional musician. Drawing and painting. A huge part of being an artist is the near-constant beatings your confidence takes. I used to teach high school art, and those kids were amazing. They should have been teaching me. My dad likes gardening and loves his plumeria. He has about 30. He recently found a local plumeria club on Facebook and went to a meetup. He was the only one there with less than 100. My mother has stopped complaining about him having too many plumeria. Fighting. I won a garbage ton of amateur MMA bouts and a few professional, but then I met someone who beat the fluffing brakes off of me for like 3 rounds and then choked my butt out. Turns out, I am pretty okay at it, but I am no world champion lol. Fighting games. I was the local champion until I played online. As a 23-year-old birder, it's humbling to be beside a retired 70-plus-year-old who can see birds where none seem to be. And identify them. Guitar Hero. I never met anyone who could beat me, then I saw a dude on YouTube 100% bark at the moon with his back to the screen and I'm done. Okay, I'll jump in. In my late 20s I had never lost a single game of Scrabble in my life. I have a pretty large vocabulary and a talent for pattern matching, so I was always able to come up with very long words and find high bonuses to place them on. The true Scrabble players are already laughing at me. Well, I was looking for something to do with my time and decided to try the local Scrabble club. I'll cut to the chase, I didn't win a single game. I didn't even present a challenge to a single player there. Several of them got annoyed at having to match up with someone as bad at Scrabble as me. I left that night deeply humiliated, but amazed. I never went back. What I learned that night is that championship Scrabble players do not bother hunting for 150-point mega score words. No, they kick your butt by placing 3 tiles that cross-connect to form 5 different words, 3 of which are 2-letter words, and all of which somehow share the same triple-word score tile even though only 2 words can possibly use it. And they score like 226 points by laying down those 3 tiles. It's incredible. It's as much art as science. So I learned a lot about humility from that one. I thought I was exceptionally smart because I was in talented and gifted program in school, I was a great test taker, I got good grades, and breezed through getting my bachelor's degree. School was always pretty easy for me. Then I went to law school. Everyone was older than me, had actual life experience, and they were realty fluffing smart. People would ask such thought-provoking questions, I couldn't believe we had read the same thing. I realized graduating high school and getting a bachelor's in political science at a state school wasn't genius-level stuff. And I had developed absolutely zero study skills over the prior 21 years. My first year in law school hit me like a ton of bricks. But it all worked out. Programming. Learned a lot in college and at my first job. I switched based on my skills, came to new company, met my senior who is incredibly talented and realized I have a long way to go. I think I'm a pretty solid writer. Every now and then I read a novel that just makes me think, well, I love you. But also fluff you a little bit. I would love to hear answers to the inverse of this question. Where someone didn't think much of their prowess but turned out champions. I learned to solve a Rubik's Cube and practiced until I could solve one in like 30 seconds. Then I saw a video of the world record at the time, which was like 4.9 seconds. That was pretty depressing for me. Drawing. I always think I am good at it, not God level, my ego isn't that large, then I take a look on DeviantArt and suddenly my world comes crashing down. Happens on a weekly basis at least. Lol. Math. I'm a theoretical physicist, and I always felt I was pretty good at math in undergrad. Then I met the professor I'm working for right now. One of my life goals is to become at least 3/4 as good at theoretical physics as he is. Then I met Ed Witten. Then I read some papers by Freeman Dyson. Darn. Tennis, the sport I grew up playing. I beat the majority of my colleagues frequently and even won a few tournaments. My coaches intentionally lowered their level when they played against me so that I wouldn't be thrashed, not a whole lot to be learned from that, and I thought they were giving their best and I was able to pull off some close scorelines. I'd watch the guys on TV and think that most of it wasn't really that impressive, thought the sport was pretty slow, and the pros don't do a lot of flashy stuff, as they want to win, so I'd thought I'd reach their level in the near future. Until the pros came to my country to play a tournament, and I went straight away to see Roger Federer practice in person. I was blown away so hard and my ego was so crushed that I wasn't able to speak for a few days. Never again was I arrogant about anything anymore. Hiking. I honestly thought I'd be one though motherfluffer, cancelling my apartment and going into the big wide world of Scandinavia, Faroe and Iceland with only my backpack and sleeping outside. Then I met a guy who just came back from a 700 km glacier hike at 40°C in Greenland who came to Faroes just to recover. Sadly that guy became my partner, and he had shown me in so many occasions of what my body is literally not able to endure, that I had to readjust my whole self-image. I eat more chocolate now. I played in a piano competition at age 16. Back then, I fancied myself a pretty good pianist, and there was this teenage girl who went on stage, sat down in front of the piano, and calmly blew all of us other contestants away with ease. She played Maurice Ravel's Jeu d'eau, and she was absolutely captivating. Within about 30 seconds, I think we all knew she was going to win first prize. After a few minutes, I felt the judges ought to end the contest right then and there and just give her the trophy. Even now, over a decade later, I'm still in awe of her. She did it with so much grace, dignity and style. I only wish I knew her name. When I was in 5th grade, I didn't really have any friends, was bullied, picked last for sports, etc. At recess and at home, I started running because I wanted to be good at it. It went on for a few months and I had convinced my little 10-year-old mind that I was a superb runner and super fast. One day in P.E., they basically had us race each other. I got put up against these two popular girls that were best friends, and I just knew that this was my moment and all my work was going to pay off and people will like me. Spoiler alert, they fluffing smoked me. Edit, thanks to whoever gave me my first award. I haven't felt this validated since before those girls beat me at running. I didn't particularly think I was really good at it, but I thought I was decent at drawing quirky little cartoon versions of people, and I had fun doing it. That is until I got threatened to be banned from Reddit gets drawn. That was a real punch to the gut.